courses. So please come to us if you are interested. If you have any questions, please let us know. We are always open to answer them. So this class will be 2 hours. We are going to draw fairy tales, and we are going to use, I recommend to use A4 size. So it will be just easier, enough space to post, to draw everything that we want to discover today. But before we go in a beautiful journey, fairy tale journey, I invite you to do a short exercise. It was fun exercise when I learned, so I want to share with you. So we just close your eyes and just start observing your breathing. Just how the air comes to your body and leave your body. We don't force anything. We are not getting deeper or faster. Just observing and just several breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. And now we try something different. We start breathe in some particular parts of our body and breathe out in a different parts of the body. So try to breathe in through the left foot. Just breathe in through the foot and breathe out through the right shoulder. Just visualize like air comes through the foot and leaves through the shoulder, just intention. And next we breathe in through the right hand and breathe out through the left elbow. Just your intention. Breathe in through the right hand and breathe out through the left elbow. And we breathe, next time we breathe through the left shoulder. And we breathe out through the right knee. And next, we breathe in through the root chakra and breathe out through the crown chakra. Just several times. And we go deeper, and you can breathe in to your liver and breathe out through your heart. And you can breathe in to your mind, to your brain, and you breathe out through your heart. And you may decide what will be the next breathe in and breathe out. Which part of the body you want to breathe in and through which part of your body you want to breathe out. If you have any tension in your body, you can breathe into this part and breathe out this tension through another part of your body. And try to breathe in through the whole body like the skin is just breathe in all air and breathe out through your heart. And gently coming back. Open your eyes. Welcome back. How did you like the exercise? Was it the intention for this exercise to bring you back to your body? Really be aware of different parts of the body, listen to your body and pay attention, pay your respect. So you can do this exercise before falling asleep or when you wake up, when you feel too anxious. This is a beautiful opportunity to bring focus inside instead of get distracted by outside world. So, but this is just a fun exercise. I've never done this exercise before. It was special. I was surprised how quickly my body become activated and there is energy starts moving. It is very fun breathing. Children love this exercise. You can, if you're working with children, highly encourage you to bring this exercise to them. It's really fun. So next part, we are keep moving. We have 2 hours and there is a lot to cover. So today we are going to see, to discover our life strategies, looking to our life strategies through the fairy tales. So I invite you to choose the fairy tale that you learned in the childhood. And it's still, you still remember it. You still, it's impressed you somehow. You still maybe read it again or watch the movie based on the fairy tale. Somehow it had a footprint in your soul. So this something that could be like a really fairy tale. It could be just a legend or maybe a mythology that you learned as a child. Maybe it's a real story that you learned and you're still thinking about it sometimes. Maybe the parents told you the story. It could be made up stories. It could be something that really impressed you. Okay.
Recommended size for this drawing class is A4, the printing paper size. Not the smaller one, if you're used to doing it on a smaller one, maybe too small. Just a suggestion.
If you don't have any special stories, like there are some people who don't remember any special stories, just choose the story that you remember, that somehow came to you right now. Like when we start talking, okay, oh, okay, let's do this story. And we will use the story just to learn something new about ourselves. You don't need to remember the story exactly as it was written. It can, the most important, how you remember it, what actually impressed you in the story. So this aspect, specific aspect for you, we are going to discover. So I will switch camera and we will just start, go deeper and deeper. So welcome everyone, welcome who just joined us. And I have a question. First of all, I have a question for you. Which part of the world you are right now located? So we want to see how big Neurographic world is now. How many people we have? Dubai. Welcome, Dubai. Las Vegas, Dallas, Belgium, Malaysia. Nice. Dubai, Italy. Ciao, Italy, Amsterdam. Okay, nice. Boston, Ontario, Germany. Oh, it's a quite a variety we have today. And I am located in Seattle, Washington State, USA, and Canada. We have Canada. Nice. So welcome everyone. So Next step, we're going to, let's connect to the paper, because the paper will reveal for us something new, something very precious about ourselves, about our life strategies and how we can use them, what our talents and what our gifts. So on this paper, I want to invite you to write down on anywhere on the paper the name of the fairy tale that you remember. Just the way you feel it's it could be in your language, it doesn't have to be English. So whatever the name of the fairy tale as you remember it, just write it down. My story today will be, the story that I remember, fairy tale from my childhood, is The Wizard of the Emerald City. It's a translation of the Wizard of Oz with many adjustments. It's a Russian version of the Wizard of Oz. It's not exact translation. There are different characters, there are different names. So it's not like I don't remember the Wizard of Oz. It's a different story and there are some significant differences. So don't think that I have a bad memory. I know both stories, but I prefer the one that I learned in the childhood, the American story that was told by a Russian author. So it's very significant for me. There are some significant meanings for me there, already there in the name. So next step, I invite you to find 2 words that will describe just 2 words that will describe your fairy tale. Is it a love story? Is it a journey? Is it a funny story, mystical? Is it adventure, horror story, or maybe what else could be? Like, how would you identify your fairy tale? Just for yourself. So, and if you want to share, it's always interesting to see what kind of stories everyone is discovering. So if you can just type the name of the story. The Little Mermaid Adventure. Nice. Good. Beauty and the Beast love story. Okay. Beautiful. For some reason this morning I was thinking like, about the Beauty and the Beast. But it's not my story for sure. The Cotton Candy Castle. And the Adventure, the 12 Swans Adventure. Pippi. Okay, so Pippi, what would be the story about Pippi? Is it Pippi Longstockings? How would you characterize the story? What would be the statement? Cinderella, magical and become bigger. It's a pumpkin. Interesting. Become bigger. It's a story of growth, personal growth. Yeah. Yes, wild and free. Beautiful. Okay, so just make a note for yourself. What is the story for you? For me, The Wizard of the Emerald City, as I remember, it's a quest story. It's a story with several challenges. So it's a quest story. And next step, what we are going to draw on our paper, we are going to draw the line that represent the story, that represent the journey, how the story really was developed during this fairy tale. So it's like a length of the or outline of the story. So just find this organic neural lines that represent this, the journey, the fairy tale itself, from the beginning to the very end of the story. So just see how, and you can already take a look at your line and see what you see. Is it spiky line? Is it soft? Is it a flat line, like almost on the same horizon, or is it climbing? So is it really developing in some like achieving or reaching this mountain, climbing the mountain? So just observe. Is it really roller coasters that represent it? We really trust our body. We attune to our body, so that's why we look at and allow it to talk to us through the drawing. So next step, on this line, I want you to see which character from the story you sympathize the most. Somebody who you resonate the most, or you want to be this character, or you really feel that this character is the most important for you, that you connect, there is some connection. It doesn't have to be the main character. It could be anybody in the story. Maybe sometimes supporting character. So in my story, remember, I'm talking about the Russian version. So in Russian version, it's not Dorothy, it's Ellie. It's a different girl that is going through the journey. And on this line, I want you, or maybe not even on the line, somewhere on the side, find the shape, draw the shape that representing the character. It could be circle, it could be maybe triangle, or maybe something else. Just find the element that representing the character. Somehow it will be here. And you can just make it. I feel like mine will be the circle, but it can be any shape. It doesn't have to be circle. And you can name it. So mine is Ellie. Ellie is my character. And I start rounding because I want to integrate the character in the story. I already integrating the character in the story. I don't want to be any conflict between my character and the fairy tale that we are discovering. So that it's gently integrated. And next step, we are trying to find out which personal talents and gifts this character in your fairy tale has. What are your character's talents? And you can just draw the circles or any other shapes. Mine will be with circles, it feels like today. So many friends. And I just draw them wherever I feel they belong to support. So these are talents of characters that I want to discover. I want to look at. I have some of them can be overlapping, some of them can be distant from each other. So just as many as you feel is needed, as many as this character needs support right now. So how talented is your character? It could be beautiful voice, beauty. It could be maybe that she was born as a royal, in a royal family, Or is it a simple poor girl or simple poor character? Whatever is important for you, any characteristics, personal characteristics for this beautiful character. So mine is it's a simple girl. And she is very dedicated to find this wizard. She has the purpose. She knows what she's looking for. And see how many. Some of them could be smaller, some of them could be bigger. Just draw several. And if you want to share, you can do. You can chat, type in the chat. Okay. I wonder what will be the characteristics for your persona, for your character that you are discovering. Something that you consider as important. It's not, we are not asking how it was described in the story, how you remembered it. Belle is strong, beautiful, and caring. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very, very open, Belle is. She really loves her father unconditionally, so she can step in this challenging role. Compassion. Yeah, Belle has compassion for sure. And it could be 3, 5, as many as you want. One of the characteristics of my character, that she did not get crazy when dogs and other stuff starts speaking to her. Like, somehow she was continued to be realizing that this is just new reality, adapted. Her mind adapted very well for the new reality, like adaptive. Okay, the pumpkin, beautiful, bigger, transport, nothing is impossible. Yeah, interesting, beautiful. Goose girl, willingness, keep word, creative. Goose girl, interesting. Goldilocks, curious, adventurous, unafraid, open to discovery. Open to discovery. Cool. So we have this, and you can add more as we go. So because it will be just a journey, you can always come back and add new characteristics, new resources, new talents that you discover about your person that we are following, or not person, like we are talking about pumpkin that is going to grow and transform in a beautiful transport. So next in this story, if you feel that you need a little bit more time to round, please do so. We try to integrate, connect your character with resources. So just a little bit more rounding. So there is no conflict, that the character really has these qualities, that acknowledgement of those qualities, that we are aware of them, that they can be used, they are visible, they're really important, valuable. So we're just rounding corners solving any conflicts and connection. So rounding is representing not just solving conflicts, it's representing conjoining. It's representing connection between some different ideas, some different people, different strategies, different talents. So we are integrating them together so they together can develop something new, something unusual, beautiful and powerful. And we don't want, and we wanted everything be harmonized as well. So that's effect of harmonization. Just observe how it's developing. Next step, I invite you to choose this specific situation in the fairy tale that you really impressed you a lot. Maybe some specific moment in the story that has so much power, has so much emotions. It could be exciting, it could be scary, or some challenging maybe for your character. So if you have such episode in your fairy tale, just identify where on this line this moment happened. It could be somewhere here, it could be very close to your character. So just find the place. You can use the marker or your hand to scan and just feel where it belongs. Where does it belong? Where is this moment? So choose this moment and find it. Where is it on the timeline? We have this episode, this scene. My moment is when they reach the Wizard of Oz, and instead of really performing any magic, the wizard just acknowledged what they already had. Whatever they were looking for, all these characters, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Coward Lion, and the girl, everybody had already their powers. The wizard is really acknowledged what and named them, like, okay, you have this bravery, you have this courage, you have this mind. So it felt like cheating. Like we were asking for magic and you just said what that we had already. It's all the time. So I just acknowledge this moment. You can use a different shape. It doesn't have to be circle. So it could be any shape where this happened. And for some reason, I want to make it more like spiky, like a sun, fireworks. I want to make it a little bit spiky because I have this. I was so disappointed in a wizard when I was reading the story. It's like, you're a cheater. They were asking for magic and you did not give them anything. Maybe so. This was my childish reactions to the story. So what is the moment that you remember the most about your story? Which moment impressed you the most? And see, is it a big shape that you drew? Or maybe it's a small one. Maybe it's a very gentle, small, quiet moment that impressed you the most. It doesn't have to be some big drama. It could be something very, very simple. and you can find some characteristic of this moment. What was the feelings that this moment activated in you? The sense of magic, like excitement, or was it disappointment, or maybe it was happiness, like sense of achievement. So what would be the characteristics of this moment for you? Maybe it's a journey of the hero and the hero, the victory over some bad creatures or evil. Just see. Mine was disappointment somehow. Because I expected big moment, really magical moment. The sense of cheating. I had this, and I just acknowledge it. Yeah. And I just realized that all the sensations, the cheating and disappointment, was because I had so many expectations. Okay, I had high expectations. And I had the sense of cheating. So I just mark whatever it represents to me. That it was an illusion. So the wizard wasn't the real magic, it was an illusion for me. So what was the big moment for you in your fairy tale? So please feel free to share it. And when you're adding more and more characteristics about the moment, you can round all these corners between the moment, between the shape that representing moment of the story, situation, and all these different characteristics. So just allow it to be integrated, just harmonized. And when you start looking for these different characteristics, you can learn a little bit more. When she could not speak while going through her task, apprehension. Apprehension, interesting. Okay. I remember that it was her choice. It's not, nobody really forced her to do it. It's her dedication and her decision to be quiet, to be silent. She decided to sacrifice it as well. We're talking about 12 swans. When the elder, as I remember, decided to be quiet. It was a condition to save her brothers. Beautiful story. Okay. And if you want to research and discover a little bit more information about this moments or about any characteristics and feelings, you feel free to add more neurolines. Unlock this interesting moment, unlock this potential, unlock this feelings at this moment holding your attention. You still remember years, very busy life happened between you learn this moment and right now, and you still remember, it still somehow resonate with you. So just explore what other emotions you are holding there. Goose Girl had a great need, a great thirst. Help was not available or cooperative. No container to drink from. Was stripped of power. Must find a way to meet her own need. Yes. So basically, she is finding the way to take care of herself. Own needs, like acknowledgement, her own needs. It's very important. Unfortunately, I don't remember all the stories, but see what kind of feelings, what was the discoveries during the moment. Maybe there was some secrets that was discovered, maybe some powers that was used by your character or anybody else to resolve the situation in the best way. If it's a challenging situation, what was the best way to resolve it? Did your character or anybody here was like, maybe it required a teamwork, maybe there was other helpers, maybe there was some magical element that was helping to during this moment, maybe there was some supporters. So I'm really unlocking this potential. I'm bringing more and more neural lines and see what else do I remember about this situation? What else I can discover here and see how I feel about it. What was the real need to be in this situation? What really forced, if it's this moment happens to your character, what was the need? Was it her choice to be in this situation? Was she forced? Was her choice or role as a supporting somebody else? Give them some support in this moment. Be witnessing and providing services sometimes, or it's hard to say like about talking about services and the fairy tales, but yes, there are some services provided in fairy tales. So just discover what you see, what you learn about this specific moment that you remember the most about this fairy tale. If it's about if you have any questions about your characters, or if you get lost somewhere, like, and you don't know where to start, like, please let me know, and we together can maybe find something that may help you to understand characters and moments a little bit more, just by asking questions. It's not necessary we give you interpretations, we just ask you more questions. You can ask yourself, is there in this particular moment, do I have any opposition? What is challenging me? Is it specific another character that is evil to me or like challenging to me? And how I can be supported here? Who else is supporting me? What are my resources here? Maybe maybe your character really developed new skills here, or received new powers. So just think about it, like what was new discoveries, the value of this moment. So see how you can find a little bit more. And please share, because it feels like I'm talking all by myself. So I'm really will be happy to hear your stories and your information about characters and the situations. Ariel, brave, strong, kind, independent, despite the danger, went to the surface and fulfilled her dreams fearlessly. Yeah, it's a very brave story. From the depth, she went to the surface. And the depth was the safest place for her. It's interesting. It's a different whatever for other people, for people can be dangerous, was a home for her. Interesting. Really brave. Okay. I keep adding neural lines. I keep rounding to make it more harmonized. You feel free to come back to discover a little bit more about the character. You can always add more neural lines and discover more about qualities of the character. And see how you can connect. You can connect a little bit more your character with this special moment. See if there is any desire to change, or maybe some not necessarily change, like what has changed? What has changed in the character, or maybe in other characters after this moment? What was the purpose of this moment? I feel stuck in that last step. I choose Beauty and the Beast. At some point, the beast gets hurt. Belle cleans his wound. Okay, so how does this moment when the beast gets hurt and needs help and support, how this moment makes you feel? It can be compassionate, it can be worried, anxious, it can be let's do something, let's help you. Like what is the feeling you are feeling about it? What would be the first reaction for you if you would be Belle in this situation? Maybe it's a huge concentration and really look for anything else. Just try to feel what is experience about this moment. She's compassionate. She's able to see behind the scary look. Okay, yeah. So she looks beyond the scary stuff. You can have like some very specific characteristic, like she is gentle, she is brave, she is resourceful, like she has the skills to clean wounds. Some particular abilities, what her gifts and talents, what her superpower in this moment. Anybody else wants to share the moment, specific moments in the fairy tale? I keep drawing the near lines, just discover a little bit more. Here we have some comment. Sleeping Beauty, the good fairy, was the most important, with loving, caring, and magic. I had two main points, the prick and the kiss, fate and making it, whole dedication. Very interesting. So fairy tale. It's a very supportive character, very beautiful and magical, for sure, very magical. So what is her, besides magic, what's her importance for the, who is the, she is mostly supporting character. Who is the character that she is supporting? And she, as I remember, she doesn't do any challenging stuff. She always doing only kind, very kind magic. Never hurt anybody, even challenging characters, like they never been punished. She's only providing help. Sleeping Beauty was asleep to her real true self and needed to wake up. It's really the question. Maybe not. We don't know. It's not necessary. The truth. Maybe in the dream she was more awakened than ever. It's all perception of your personal interpretations. I think I may have misunderstood. I choose an incident that was pivotal, but not necessarily a peak of heroic action in the story. It doesn't have to be a peak of heroic action in the story. It could be any small moment that really impressed you, that you still remember, that you still, was emotional for you. And sometimes it could be the same as a peak of the heroic story, sometimes it's not. So it's not, they don't have to be the same. I'm more interested in the moment that really impressed you the most, that really was emotional and resonate for you the most. And when you find the story, find this moment. So just unlock this emotion that are you're holding there. Even they're challenging, it could be scary story, like it could be scary moment, but and you can acknowledge, like, yes, this was a scary stuff. It was very challenging. It was a question of death, life and death, big transformation, or it requires faith and trust and a lot of love. It just occurred to me that speaking is a power, and she needed to give up her power to do her task. Yes, it's a one way to look at it this way. Yes, voice is the power. Pippi, when all of her friends came to visit her so that she didn't have to spend Christmas Eve all by herself. Yes, so she had a lot of friends, different friends, not just as I remember, it's not only children, it's all ages, and including animals. So never left alone for big situations. So the friendship, the ability to have this, be part of the community is could be her power. Be around friends, could be holding friends, keeping friends as well. So when you have enough discovery about this moment, see, did your character in the story had somebody who really challenged them? What was challenging? What was, it could be another person, it could be some magic or restrictions. And just see what was the purpose of this characters. You can draw them somewhere. What was this other challenging characters? They not necessarily need to be considered as evil characters. They can be any character that challenge your hero. Maybe the biggest challenge is time. Maybe the biggest challenge is separation. Maybe the biggest challenge is to be silent. This is a challenge. So what is considered to be the biggest challenge for your character? It's a very interesting question. And I just realized that I don't have the answer to this question myself. Biggest challenge. The biggest challenge are wicked witches. And to deal with them. And if you had this challenge, what helps to resolve this challenge? What's really any support for your character, any gifts, powers that you had to resolve this challenge? The support could be time. Support could be some lucky get lucky or to get just trust yourself and follow your heart. What big love could be a big support. Be true to yourself could be big support. So just see what was the biggest support for your character in this, in dealing with this challenging. Big love, good. Big love, yeah. Elsa had a big love. Yes, the biggest challenge for the pumpkin carriage is the time. Let's turn it back to normal size. But the funny thing about the pumpkin, that it's whenever you become bigger, you cannot forget that you are capable to be bigger. You have this knowing that this quality is possible. I can be bigger. I can be I can be different. I can transform. This ability, this knowing is very powerful. Yeah. Time. You can draw the time as a challenge and see how this pumpkin was discovering anything. Like, was it I don't remember much from the story about talking about her feelings, but maybe how would you feel as a pumpkin when the time is a challenge? Did you recognize this ability to be big as an opportunity and like, oh, she one of those millions pumpkins that had a chance to become bigger, or as a disappointment, oh, she was a bigger and now the time is losing this moment. So it's like, it's a different perception. So see what can be positive in this experience, in this challenge. Does it make sense? I hope. If you want to share anything, please feel free to unmute yourself. If you want just to say something about your character, and we can have this, find something together. My wicked witches, how did I deal? How does Ellie deal? Helped. So she was really very lucky. Like, there was so much luck. She always had friends together, so she's lucky. She always had friends to help her. She had again, like friends, like it's all about friendship. And she had a lot of trust. She did not know the answers. She just did what was required from her. There was a lot of trust and be in the moment. Not planning, not much planning ahead. It's not about planning. Okay. Also, time is a challenge, but I do not feel the disappointment when it's back to normal size. I just feel the miracle and magical moments that make me excited and able to help the Cinderella to meet the prince. Moment, excitement. So it was exciting moment. It was the biggest moment for the pumpkin to be part of a big event. Her help changed life for another person. It's a big moment. Big opportunity. And again, it wasn't like a sacrificing her life to help somebody. So she had this chance, she helped, and she come back to her normal life. Beautiful as pumpkin can be. There is something to tell her grandchildren. So just and when you're ready, we can go to the next step after we discover already the biggest emotional moment in the story and what kind of emotions were there. And we discovered what was the most challenging for your character. Now, let's go and learn a little bit more about the ending of the story. What was the ending of the story? Was it the happy ending? Was it challenging ending for the story? And is there anything that you would like to change there? Or it was perfect as it is? What was the end of the story? Or maybe it's just a new beginning. It's not necessary. The ending of the fairy tale is not necessarily the end of life. It's just the end of this particular story, of this particular chapter. So what was it for you? Is it some big event, or is it just beginning of another moment? My story was ending, the Ellie, the character, came back home. She returned home. I just put it here like as a circle. There is no place like home. This was her desire from the beginning. The whole journey was coming back home, like finding the way, go home. Oh. Ariel's choice resource was to go to Evil Witch, give up her voice so that she could have the legs to walk land. She eventually conquered the witch, everyone's help, found happiness on land, got her voice back, and made peace with her family. Good. Again, like giving up voice for moving forward, for having legs, is very symbolic to have the voice back, this opportunity to speak up. It's a beautiful voice. Yeah. So do you consider it as a happy ending? Find her voice back. Happily ever after. Happiness on land. It's a big changes for Ariel. Changing this physical changes and the area of the reality, like from the water she start walking. She is really adapted to people. She become completely different. The huge transformation for Ariel. Yes, a new beginning and more to come. And if you would have this opportunity, this magic ability, if it's just a beginning for something new, what would be the continuation? Where would your character go now? What would she tell now if she has a voice? What would she talk about? What would be her truth that she wants to share with the world? You can draw it somewhere. It doesn't have to be on the line. It can be anywhere. And of course, you have this, as any neurographic drawing, you have this permission to extend your paper and maybe even continue the journey. What would be the, after this story is ending, the fairy tale is ending, how would the story continue? Like, where would she go? What would she do? Maybe what would she talk about? What would be the continuation? If you would write a sequel, what would be the continuation of your story? Just, you can draw any elements there and see what was it about. So my character, my Ellie, from this story, she really learned that everyone has powers. Everyone who is looking for something, it has it already. The scarecrow was smart from the beginning. It's not something new that he learned. It was already available. It was already in him. So everybody has powers. This was the biggest lesson. Whatever you're looking, you already have it. You just don't know. You're just looking for acknowledgement. You're looking for somebody tells you, yes, you have it. It's like a blessing. So this was my discovery. And maybe the alien would tell the story to other people how they can find these powers. Not imitate or create the illusion of magic, but how really they can find these powers. When she come back home, she can tell people this. This is my imagination about the continuation of the story. This is my meaning. We have a comment. Resources given to Goose Girl only become her own when she has to use them. In this way, she is empowered and less dependent on others. She is able to step into life that cannot be taken from her. She has to take ownership of her life. It's a very deep and discovery for Goose Girl. Yes, it's a very important. Be independent and taking ownership of her life. And you can continue, you can draw the element that will represent what would this taking ownership of her life means to you. how would she do it? Like, does she need anything? Like, what would be the first step taking ownership of her life? Something simple. It doesn't have to be dramatic, doesn't have to be, but what would be the first action that representing taking ownership of her life? Just fantasize, imagine, use your imagination. We still be drawing fairy tale. It's nothing that is impossible here. Maybe imagine that we have this ability to write and this fairy tale become a true reality. Just see how it's possible. And I continue adding neurolines, continue connecting the character, the moments, the qualities, the resources, the challenges that I have in the fairy tale. So everything is integrated. Everything has this own place, own connections, and everything is accepted. I don't ignore any challenging moments, because the challenging moments gave my character, gave my role for this particular fairy tale new abilities, new skills, new opportunities, new powers, maybe new friends, new life perception, new understanding. So I create this new connections to make it more balanced, to make it more stable, more grounded. See how you feel about it. Is there any qualities that maybe you want to add to your character, like best wishes? What would be the best advice that you want to give to the character? Or maybe some blessing? You can draw this as an element on your and add it anywhere. Just see, or maybe you realize that the story, fairy tale story, was already perfect and everything was aligned as it's supposed to be, and really nothing else needed. Especially if the ending is already happy ending. If we have already this beautiful happy ending, happy resolution for everything. When you round all your lines, please start coloring. Bring some colors. It's not a black and white story. It's a fairy tale. So we have this ability to create it bright, colorful, exciting, emotionally intriguing and mesmerizing. Like it's a fairy tale. Draw your fairy tale with the colors that brings magic to your story, and connect even more. Connect all these events and qualities. Connect your character with resources, with gifts that she or he or it can have. What was this abilities? What was this gifts? Maybe some magical elements that you want to connect. And just Continue coloring. Make it exciting for you. Create the story, create this image of a fairy tale that you want to be in. That it will be impression that, oh yes, it's so exciting, it's so appealing, it's so attractive. I want to be in this fairy tale. I want to be this character. You can use colors that really representing the story. Let's say I will use the yellow color that representing this beautiful yellow brick road that Ellie is following. And again, I'm calling her Ellie because it's a Russian translation. It's not Dorothy as it was in Wizard of Oz. I know that it could be confusing. It's the story as I remember it from my childhood. It doesn't have to be exact story as everybody else remember, and different people will remember different moments, different perception to characters. We are here not to judge. We are here not to really check your memories about this character. We're here to create our, like, have an opportunity to learn something new, to learn what we remember, what resonated the most with us. This is my story, this is my fairy tale, and this is the way I tell it. And I will create this beautiful pink bubbles around. Make it a little bit more magical. How's everyone doing? Check, double check how is your body resonated. Is there any particular quality that resonated the most, or maybe made you feel resistant to it? So it's doesn't have to be always so fun and pleasant. It can be sometimes challenging. We are discovering some very deep emotional stuff. This is how we resonated with this in our childhood. This is how inner child still remember. I feel alive. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Beth. Draw it, like I feel alive. Draw your feeling, give it a shape. What will be the shape representing your aliveness? It's kind of like a circle or any other shapes. What would be representing this life quality? This feeling, very precious feeling. Just draw it somewhere where you feel is the most important. Notice if there is any empty spot on your drawing. If you don't have any lines there, if there is like blind spot, go there, discover a little bit more about your story. Maybe you have some other challenges that you want to discover, or maybe some resources or helpers, or some new chapter of your story that's not written yet, and you have this opportunity to create new adventures, new love story for you, or new excitement. So just allow it to be. And you can add more and more characters, more and more situations, new discoveries, maybe something that resonates to you, some description of place or description of some objects in your story. You can do it. and see what we learned today about the characters. And of course, we are going to choose we are going to add some support from the universe, the field lines, the magical lines that helps for your character to be safe and sound, to really go through the journey in a beautiful way, in the most magical way, so that it's never been lost. It's always find help when it's needed, or find the qualities that was developed. So you can add a couple. Let's me color it a little bit more, because just make it a little bit more bubbly. Let's continue coloring. So any new endings for the story do you have? Did you end it? Did you write any new chapter for your story, or the story is already perfect for you? I forgot about this magical shoes. She still have some magic after all. It wasn't illusion. There was some magic. She received at the very beginning. She just did not know how to use it. And I round and integrate this magic. It doesn't matter where you're really placing all this element. Wherever you feel is appropriate, wherever you feel you have space, you can add more elements, more lines, connect your character to these elements. Maybe new discovery about a specific moment of the story. Maybe okay, I want to highlight it as well. Okay, any questions so far? Everybody's so quiet today. Everybody's so deep in the process. It's like it's a fairy tales. It's a serious business we're doing.
Deep magic is happening.
Okay, this is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Everybody has the magic now and knows that they have it, so they're working on it.
Okay. So I think I added enough elements to my drawing. It looks cheerful and bubbly, maybe a little bit more colors on the here. And we are going to add field lines, as I already mentioned them before. And the field lines can go in any direction. The field lines can be aligned with this original line. I don't see my original line. It's completely dissolved. So the one thing that I want to highlight with field lines, this yellow brick road, this beautiful, very clear path that my character is following, this guidance. So I just highlighted this journey, that it's hard to get lost. So it's a very clear movement. This is my field lines. And after we adding field lines, as always in Neurographica drawings, we integrate it in the drawing. We're rounding all these new corners that it may cause. The thickness of the lines always brings new corners, new conflicts. So we gently integrate it. So there is no forcing, there is only guidance that we recognize in the story. Okay. How do you feel after adding field lines? Or are you still rounding and coloring? There is no rush. You can continue drawing after the class will be over. Just want to make sure that we have this important steps covered. Everything will be covered. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Any comments? Always appreciate it. What is challenging you? We are in the spell. Yeah. The funny thing that I live in Seattle, that is considered to be an Emerald City. So because it's surrounded by mountains and it's evergreen state. So I feel like I was moved from the Kansas City to the Emerald City for sure. Continue to live in this beautiful evergreen state. And when you feel like, if you have, pay attention how you're breathing. Is it deep? Is it shallow? How do you inhale, exhale? If there is any tension, remember the exercise that we've done before. You can inhale in this area where you have this tension and exhale it somewhere else. Like you can exhale it through the mouth, through the heart, through the any part of your body that is available to process this tension. So you have this magic that you can use to bring more awareness to your body. And play with this. Play with this ability. Bring attention to different parts of your body. See if there is anything else you want to have. And don't try to be like very serious. Maybe something that could be very fun. Maybe some of the characteristics of your character can be like, oh, she had a beautiful dress. And this could be like, we are talking about inner child. What really made your inner child excited? My inner child was very excited about her special shoes that had so much magic that can really just move people around different dimensions, different realities. not just through the space. It was very exciting and very magical for me. Okay. And see, after we integrated the field lines, what is the most important, what is the most valuable discovery for you today about this character? It can be a feeling, it can be some magical element. Maybe the most important was to discover the challenge. So see which element really is the most important for you. And you can highlight it, you can make it more powerful, bring more attention to it by creating this stronger outline, like emphasize it even more. Like I want to highlight this magical shoes. Dorothy had ruby shoes, but the Ellie had silver shoes, so it's a little bit different. So my Ellie had silver shoes. And I want to highlight, I want this magic that she received by accident, really, she was just lucky. So I just highlighted a little bit more. You can add more and more colors to your drawing. The character is integrated. I cannot find her. Okay. It's a very interesting decision, Beth, that you can make right now. Do you want her to be more visible and define her boundaries a little bit more? And in this case, you can highlight her, define her, or it can be an opportunity to make your character a little bit bigger, create a new outline, like allow it to be just visible anywhere on your drawing. Give her any shape you want. So you can highlight the outline that you had originally, or you can create completely new outline, create new shape, new size, new value for your character. After this journey, like what would be the most important for you? I would prefer to be invisible, and yet maybe it would be helpful for me to bring new shape. Thank you. Like you remember, you have this option. It's your decision what you want. And you can choose consciously for yourself. And it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to be invisible. Maybe it's a way to survive. Many characters in fairy tales could be invisible or in disguise. So it's because it's just a safe way. And it's perfectly fine if you keep doing it, if you use it. But it's instead of saying like, okay, nobody, it's a difference between be a victim of invisibility and decided this is what I want. This is what I prefer to be right now. It's my decision and my responsibility. to choose it. And of course, you can come back to your drawing later and change it. Change a little bit more, bring more colors, bring more resources. Maybe I know from my own experience, like after I start thinking about the story, I discover so much new characteristics new resources, new talents, new gifts, new helpers that I just want to come back and draw more and more. So you can have, you can continue this journey as long as you need. And now I invite you to take a look at your fairy tale and just look at it. Is there original characteristic that we've done? The love story, the adventure, did it change after you look at the fairy tale? Did you discover something new that have completely different meaning of the story? Or is it still be the same? Very freedom, good. Freedom. It's a story of the freedom, finding freedom. Yeah, interesting. If you want to share anything new, please do so. And look at your drawing. Is your inner child would be excited about such fairy tale? Is there any magic that you want to add? Maybe to add some, I don't know, metallic colored pencils. We don't encourage to use the metallic markers because they will be very hard to integrate in the drawing. But you can try to use a different metallic pencils. Pencils have this beautiful quality. They give some shimmering, some magic, but at the same time, they are very well integrated in the rest of the drawing and blend very well with other colors. Okay, I think it's enough for me today. And again, I invite you to look at your drawing and just connect to it, connect to your character, connect to the events and challenges. And just say, this is my life. This is my life strategy. My life is a love story or the adventure or the desire for freedom or whatever you name the story. This is what you're looking for in life. This is what your inner child is looking for. And we just continue follow it. And of course, your challenges does not have to be wicked witches or some evil people in the story. It could be your job. It could be time. It could be some environment challenges that just have a different shape, but still be very requires the same set of skills, the same set of talents and gifts, and see who is your helpers. Who is your support group? Friends? Is it maybe it's luck? Maybe it's your ability to dedicate or be compassionate about other people. and what's really challenging, what makes you emotional. For me, it's a big expectations and as a result, disappointment. Because high expectations, very hard to fulfill. And what is the most important for you in your life? What is the priority for you right now? And just see, like, is it the story that you are excited to step in? Is it happy endings? Is it happy friendship, relationships? This is how we really resolve situations. This is how we use our strategies. And if everything ending up as a happy ending, maybe whatever you do is good. If whatever you do is perfect already. Maybe you want to change something. Maybe you want to have some continuation, create a new chapter of your story. But see what that everything has its own purpose, its own meaning, and its own beauty. That everything is integrated, everything is complementing each other. It would be a boring story without challenges, without emotional situations, without resources, and without ability to change yourself, change the environment that your fairy tale has the place. So this was the ultimate goal, to see what kind of strategies I use, my inner child is still using. If it resonated with you, if it makes sense to you, if you agree that this reflects your life strategies, seeking for voice, seeking for freedom, if it really reflects your desire, your meaning, please let me know. I want just to see how did you receive this news about that this is your life? Or either maybe you have a resistance, maybe you have some opinion that no, it's somebody else's life, not mine. What was your first impression? Okay. Everybody's so quiet.
Okay, so for me, it was a huge aha moment, and we have a comment. Okay. You said being invisible may be the only way to survive. Thriving may mean having a different presence. Yes.
Yeah, it is. May have a different presence. And maybe it's perfect time, and maybe right now it's a safe time to be visible and be bigger.
Invisible is also a power. It's a magic power to be invisible. So there's nothing bad about it. So here's my drawing. I haven't finished yet.
Oh, you have like a beautiful sun on the top.
Yes.
Purple sun.
I have a new ending of my story.
As I remember, it was already a happy ending.
It was, but now it's different.
No, it's a different happy ending.
Now it's more happy.
Like it's your decision and it's your qualification for happiness. You have this freedom to create this ending.
Yes.
Or like, let's say, not the ending, maybe just a new chapter of the story.
Next chapter. Yes, so.
And we have a new comment. I realized fear of the unknown several times while I was rounding, excited to break my old fear-based patterns by acknowledgement. By acknowledging and changing this. Yes, it's a beautiful way. Acknowledging. If you don't know how to change anything, the first thing, like you can do 3 things. Like if you really struggle with something and the huge resistance, you can acknowledge it. Like, okay, this is a crazy stuff. This is a challenging stuff. Like you really acknowledge. You can honor it. I cannot change you, but I can honor my resistance. I can honor this challenge in my life. And you can thank you, send your gratitude to it. You can really send your, not necessarily love. Sometimes it could be so painful to talk about love, but you can be grateful for the opportunity to grow and see a little bit more inner powers in it. So for this opportunity, we can always be grateful. So the 3 things: acknowledgement, honoring, and gratitude. So those 3 things that you can do whenever you have big resistance or something that is very powerful and you don't know how to deal with this. And support from Beth to Natalie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if you would like to share your experience, please do so. I'm very curious and hope that this class was giving you some opportunity to learn something new about yourself. We have some drawings. Oh, you extended your drawing. You have a different, completely new chapter. It's just an old ending is a new beginning for something new and more powerful. I love how different size of shapes are happening on the next page. Like a big, powerful, juicy lines that you used. Okay, let me switch the camera. If anyone else wants to share the drawing or the experience or any questions, please do so. You're welcome to share your drawings in our group, Neurographic Academy Neuroart. For those who are going to watch it in recording, welcome to the group. And it's a beautiful community to share your experiences, to share your drawings, to ask questions. So we're always welcome new participants. And we have a comment. This was very challenging to me, maybe because I am very new and don't have a deep understanding of Neurographica, maybe because I could not really remember the fairy tale I choose. I feel like I do not relate to it. I feel like I was drawing, someone else's story. At some points, I had to Google information to be able to add elements. It feels just like I'm drawing and nothing else. I am tired, my hand is tensed and hurting. So about hands, when it's too intense, it's usually, it can be exclusion. It's usually when we try to do something very perfect, like we want to be, everything be done so perfectly that it can be challenging for us. And there is a lot of control and pressure in our hands. So Give yourself permission for mistakes. And it's perfectly fine. Just maybe slow down and allow yourself to let it be less perfect and more organic for you. So breathing can help. What else? About somebody's stories. There's no coincidence that you choose the story. Stay with the story. See how you can make the story your own. Or maybe another story can come to you later that will be feeling like, oh, this is my story. Like when we're trying to live or do or draw somebody else's story, it's a good resource for you to know. Now I know this doesn't feel like me. I know how I can find and resonate with my story better because I tried something else and it did not work for me. It's a good start. It's not a wasting time. It's not a wasting energy. It's just opportunity for you to know more. Like this does not feel like me. So honor it and maybe something else will come to you. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to information that will come to you within couple 2-3 days. Maybe you will remember. Maybe you will see how it's coming to you. The stories are coming all the time. We're just, and it's not necessary, should be one story. It could be 2 stories that really impressed us because at different time, we use different strategies. And some stories can be just integrated in another story. Like I actually have 2 stories that resonated the most with me. There is the one Russian folk story that is really impressed me, and still I still have chills when I remember it. And this is more, the story that I was discovering today is more about the strategy, like a big journey. That one was about specific moment in my life. Okay, we have comment. Thanks a lot for this wonderful lesson. I've learned a lot about my wishes and priorities. Good, wishes and priorities. It's a very good insights, very important things. My all-time favorite fairy tale was Beauty and the Beast, but when we started drawing, I drew the story that I want to write as a book. And I think the biggest insight I got was that this story is my life. And maybe I have not been wanting people to know my story, and hence I have not been able to write it. It's stay with this. You don't have to write your story. You can draw your story and see how beautiful it is. And maybe it will give you some additional information. Please don't feel obliged like, okay, now I must write my story. It's better when you do it from the moment when you know for sure this should be done. And it can be very private. You can write a story that you can share with the world, or you can share the story with your children or with your family only, or with very close friends or students. It doesn't have to be something very public. But I highly encourage to draw it first, to see colors, to see movement, to see the journey, the whole journey together. So very interesting about writing your own story. I'm very excited about people who can write. So For me, it's a superpower to create, to describe complex things. To describe life is a complex thing. So good luck. Good luck for any decision that you decide to do with your life story. For sure, it's a beautiful opportunity to live it fully. Anybody else? And look at me, it's 2 hours.
Yeah, you did it.
It's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, so may I just share? May I have the microphone, please?
Yes, please.
So at the end of the class, we just want to share about our upcoming classes. We have the specialist course coming in September. This is for people who want to learn Neurographica as coaches or counselors and use them Neurographica with their clients. It is very helpful. It speeds up the process. It especially a lot of people are drawn to it. It opens up not just for women. Men can be coached with Neurographic as well very successfully. And the other class that we have is the last algorithm of the advanced algorithms in Neurographica called neurotiming. We started in September. We're going to do it in September. It's a beautiful algorithm. It will be, we will be stretching time, compressing time, expanding time, and working with any possible times that you can imagine, past, future, and creating very, very beautiful stories and possibilities for you. So you're welcome to join for any of those two, or for both of them.
Yeah. Okay, so this is everything that we wanted to to tell you today, and thank you very much. Thanks the world for being with us. It's as always privilege and honor to be with you. So looking forward to see you next month or at any of our courses or classes that we are offering. Looking forward to see your complete drawings in the group. So thanks a lot. I see, yeah, food for thoughts for sure. This was the intention.
You rock. Thank you, Beth.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Live a beautiful fairy tale life. Bye.
Bye. Have a wonderful day.